Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Welcome again, my dear students, ninth grade students. Here we are still again with Unit 8. Now we are in Language Focus 1. This is Student Book, page 87, Workbook, page 78. Of course, today we have the first part of your grammar on Unit 8, which is the passive. We will start with the present simple passive. In Language Focus 2, we will be with past simple passive. So, students would be able to recognize the form and structure of the present simple passive, choose the correct form of the verb in each present simple passive sentence, complete the present simple passive sentences, and the most important, to produce their own present simple passive questions and sentences. Of course, I asked you last time to complete exercise 1. This is on page 87. It's taken from the reading text. This is exercise 1, and again, of course, we will have exercise 4, which is again taken from page 86, which is the reading text, which is present simple passive questions. Before we complete these exercises, let's have this short presentation about the passive. What do we have in the passive? We will have something about both the present simple passive and past simple passive. So the passive, voice, simple present, and simple past. Of course, today we will talk only about simple present. So we will start from this example. Mary designs a beautiful dress. So a beautiful dress is designed by Mary. Here's the change from active to passive. So what is the change here? Instead of talking about the subject, we talk about the object. We are not interested in who does the action, we are interested in the object. So Mary designs a beautiful dress. A beautiful dress is designed by Mary. Of course, here's a Mary designs a beautiful dress. Here's simple present. A beautiful dress is designed by Mary. Here's is, verb to be in the simple present. So instead of putting the verb in the present simple, we just put is in the simple present. And what happens to design? It's, of course, it in the past participle, which is verb 3. So instead of verb 1, we have be1 and verb 3. This is always the case in the present simple passive. Try to complete the sentence. The girl buys a new pair of shoes. So a new pair of shoes by the girl. So here's verb 1. We said we need be1 and verb 3. So what is the change here? Is bought. Of course, I'm talking about pair of shoes. It's not shoes. A new pair of shoes, so it's singular. Is bought. Let's have another example. Of course, here's in the past. We'll do it next time. So let's jump to the passive voice. Here is the present simple. Write or writes becomes is or are written. Verb 3. In the past, wrote, was, were written. I, the subject, you, she, he, it, we, you, they, by me, by you, by her, by him, by it, by us, by you, by them. They visited the fashion show. Of course, he is in the past. We said that we will complete with this next time. Now we are talking about the present. She reads fashion magazines every day. Fashion magazines, which is the object, are read by her every day. Of course, if you don't have subject, verb, object, at least we should have all of these three elements unless, or we can't have a passive sentence. What about the questions? People speak Spanish in Argentina. Instead of talking about people, of course, now we are asking about the object, Spanish. Is Spanish spoken, of course, by people? We don't need the subject here because it's a general word in Argentina. So it's the same like the passive sentence. Instead of saying Spanish is spoken, Spanish is spoken, is Spanish spoken, is Spanish spoken. So it's just like any passive sentence. We start from verb to be, and of course we don't need do, does, or did because we have verb to be, which is, are on the present and was, were in the past. So we don't need do, does, did. Is Spanish spoken in Argentina? Yes, it is. So this is everything. Let's go back now to your student book. We will start with the examples, of course, the given examples. And exercise 1, I asked you to complete them. So here's number 1, complete the examples from the text on page 86. So here's exercise 1 again. Of course, now we are asked to, here's affirmative and negative sentences. And here are the completions. Note that we have one of the two forms, are used, is heated. Of course, are used because we have tires. Of course, why do we have the passive here? Because we start with the object. Whenever you start with the object, this is passive. Whenever you start with the subject, this is active. Cement is not used. We don't care about who uses it. We talk about the object. Cement is not used. Mike's houses are not built. Well, this one, the house is heated. Is heated. The house, it's singular. So, what about, of course, the completions with the rules? To form the passive, use be. The past participle, be, we have is, are, of course. Active, they make the houses from rubbish. You ever start with the subject, it's active. مبني للمعلوم. They make the houses from rubbish. Passive, the houses. We talk about the object. The houses are made from rubbish. And we don't care about the subject because it's a pronoun. We usually don't write it. So what about to? Of course, we move to something more practical, to more practice. Look at the chart. Complete the sentences. Use the passive form of the verbs in brackets. So, the house, make of bottles and cans. The house is made. Is made. So here's verb 1. Here we have be1 and verb 3. Again now, stop here please and try to change all these sentences into passive. Look at this. The cans. Of course we have plural. Recycle. The cans are recycled. 3. The walls are designed for the heat from the sun, is used, and of course the same in number 5, is reused. The water is reused and the houses are built. So get it right. Passive, not active. The houses are called earthships. The town is located in the south. Active, not passive. Sometimes we don't need the passive form. We usually use active in forms just like the art lesson starts. It's not started. Starts at 10 and the exhibition closes today. It's not closed. It closes today. Okay, what about number 3? What do you have in number 3? Now choose the correct words to complete the text, then listen and check. So we just want to check if the verb is active or passive. So as you rows and rows of human statues are standing in the main square, as you move, if you are the doer of the action, so you are the subject. So of course here's in the number one, the first one, you move. It's active because you are the doer of the action. Closer, you see. Of course, again, you are the doer of the action, that they, of all kinds of everyday objects, they are made. These things are made. They don't make, they are made of all kinds of everyday objects. So, stop here. Try to choose between active and passive. Of course, you can read the text by yourself. Stop here and choose. Here are, of course, the answers. Some are built from plastic. Things are built. They don't build. Are decorated, is called, shows the world, and it shows. Produce. We produce. We are not produced. So here's, of course, number 4, how to recognize the difference between passive and active. Okay, what about present simple passive questions? Of course, we said that questions are just like passive sentences. We have a different order. Instead of starting from the object or the new subject, which is the older object, we start with verb to be, is, are. So look at the questions about the text on page 86 and complete the rule. So to forward question, we use be, means is, are, and this is in present, subject, and then past participle. Here is are, and is. Of course, if it's yes no question, we start with is, are, or am. If it's WH question, we start with WH, then the helping verb, then we have the subject, here's the subject, and then we have past participle, made, used, made, heated. So here we need to do more practice. And number 5, answer the question, exercise 4, about the text. Order the questions. Now you need to order the questions to make questions. Of course, in number 4 here are the answers. No, they aren't. These answers are taken from the text, the reading the text. Here are the answers. What about 5? What about 6 here? Order the questions. Your wood house is made of. So of course we should start with, is your house made of wood? Again, here we have yes no question. We start with the verb to be, which is are. Then of course the subject. Are the plastic bottles recycled in your house? Again, 3. Are old newspapers and magazines saved for later? Here's number 4. Are plastic bags reused? And 5. Are vegetables grown in your garden? Let's move to your workbook. Look at page 87 or 78. Here we start with the match the sentence halves. The metal rhodium is, and of course you need, here we stop at the verb to be, is, are. We need one of these past participle verbs to complete the sentence. The metal rhodium is found in South Africa. So just choose one of the past participle verbs here to complete the sentence. What do we have here? Number 2, write passive sentences from the prompts. Just use the prompts here to make passive sentences. Of course, you should start with the object. Then, of course, is, are, verb 3. Then you can complete with the completion of the sentence. So most glass produced in big factories. Most glass is produced in big factories. To just complete the sentences here. What about 3? complete the text with the active or passive. So just use a present simple if it's active. If we start with the doer of the action, it's the subject, so it's active. If we start with the object, okay, then use ism are and verb 3. It's present simple passive. This is present simple and present simple passive, like in number 2. Look at number 2. Are thrown. Here's a present simple of be, then we have verb 3. Why do you have the passive here? Because we are talking about the object, which are phones. Here, people, subject, phones, object. What about number 4? Answer the questions, use the present simple passive. Answer all of these questions. What material all the shoes you are wearing today made of? Of course, you can answer the way you like. Answers may vary from one student to another. Again, a 3-star exercise in number 5. Think about your town or city. What happens there every day? Write sentences. Use the present simple passive. Don't talk about the doers of the actions. Just talk about what happens to things. So use the present simple passive. The rubbish is collected from the streets. Here's one thing. Just give me as much examples as you can. Of course, we will do these sentences, exercises together next lesson. Thank you for being with us in this lesson.